Likely going to be affecting areas north of LaBelle.
And it's until 5:30.
Until 5:30. So looking at a storm track on this on source 1, you can see it's going to be in the Vermont community at about 5:12. If we can go over to source 1, you can see that storm track right there. You can see it's going to be heading due east, crossing over 31 here shortly. And we were just looking at that circulation, and it's not out of the question again. We're going to see more of these and more of these little brief circulations popping up in the line, and they're going to likely issue tornado warnings on. They have the capability of producing brief spin-up tornadoes. Again, very similar to what we had in Fort Myers on Friday, where we had very brief. They won't stay on the ground long, but they'll just produce a little bit of a spin up there, and then they'll move on off. Looks like there's some more shear just to the south of Fort Myers. Looks like right along Daniels, 41 and Daniels, we're starting to see a little bit of rotation there inside this line of storms. So there may be a little bit of spin. We'll wait and see what Tampa, the National Weather Service in Tampa, does with that. But you can clearly see that there is definitely a little bit of green showing up there on our shear tracker. And so we do have also a lock here, a rotation lock, that's indicated by that arrow that is spinning around. There is some rotation about to cross over 31, indicated by the radar. About to move over through sections of eastern Charlotte County, and then likely going to be moving over into sections of Glades County here in the next several minutes north of LaBelle. A little bit farther towards the south, Naples. We'll have to watch this rotation that's just offshore Naples. And as I mentioned earlier, pardon me, that these storms again, will produce these brief spin-up tornadoes. So it's not a question we could see a tornado warning issue for Naples. We'll have to see. And then with the line of storms bowing out the way it is, and I'll put the radar back on so you can see what I'm talking about. Notice how it looks like it's kind of a backward C configuration. A lot of times what will happen in these situations, you'll get these accelerations in the line of the storm, and that will produce damaging winds. So Naples, you guys are going to have damaging winds likely coming up on you very shortly. As this line pushes up towards Bonita Springs. So you can kind of see, I'm going to get back on the wall here so I can see what I'm talking about. This is that backward C I was talking about, and these are the damaging winds that are going to be pushing into the Naples area here in the next several minutes. So crossing over 41, over 75, and heading up towards Immokalee. A heads up for you in Immokalee. These are likely to be heading up your way, and sometimes you can get also these little kinks. You see how this particular area is trying to curl up. Sometimes you can get little areas of rotation within the line, and that's where we're seeing that shear. I would not be surprised at all if portions of Collier County are put under a tornado warning as a result of this. That hadn't happened yet, but we want to give you a heads up that these are very difficult for the National Weather Service to warn on, because these rotations, they spin up quickly and then they disappear, and then another one will spin up and they'll disappear. It's kind of like playing a game of whack-a-mole when you're trying to issue warnings on these. And you can see how there's that little curl up right there between Bonita Springs and Naples, right on 41, into northern Collier County and through North Naples. We're going to be watching that as it pushes on through. There looks like there's another one that's going to be coming into Naples right there. So these little curls, if you will, within the line have the potential to produce some brief spin-up tornadoes, but the entire bowing segment that you see here pushing into Naples will have the potential to produce some strong winds, Port of the Islands as well, down there in extreme western portions of Collier County. Let's go back up towards the north, see what's going on in Fort Myers and in the Cape. Looks like we can go ahead and sound the all clear for the Cape. So the Cape, just some rain around. The heaviest of the storms now pushing east. They're in Fort Myers now. Fort Myers itself is almost out of the woods. Gateway almost right on top of you. So if you live in Gateway, they're almost there. Looks like the leading edge of the storms now crossing over 75 near Tree Line. All right, well, looks like we've got a camera heading into North Fort Myers right now in the double box there, and you can see heading into Fort Myers from North Fort Myers. You can see how you can see how there's, of course, a lot of lightning going on with this particular storm, this line of storms as it moves on through. The heaviest line of storms now right along 6 Mile Cypress through I-75, almost to Buckingham. Looks like it's almost right on top of Buckingham and around the Gateway community. So Gateway, you guys are going to be seeing these strong winds here if you're not already. within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, likely within the next 5 minutes. And this basically goes along the line down west of I-75, also just to the west of San Carlos Park. They'll be there shortly. And also Bonita Springs, you guys are going to see those strong winds here shortly as well. What you got?
All right, Derek, no tornado warning yet for Collier, but National Weather Service is discussing, like in that chat that you had mentioned earlier, that they are planning to issue a tornado warning for Collier. So
that doesn't surprise me.
Absolutely. So before that does happen, or if that does happen, I do want to take it down to Collier and put a track on this line. So folks out there, Bonita Springs to Naples, looking at a good, vigorous line of thunderstorms pretty much at your doorstep. So this is not a lot of warning ahead of it, not a lot of light to moderate showers, not a lot, to wake folks up. This is just going to be rushing in. So